Welcome back.
They didn't feel genuine. Thank you.
Mom.
How was yesterday without me?
Well, Erin did great, but I hope Olive appreciates that you left me yesterday for her activities.
Oh, I told Jeff and Eric I yelled at children on the field trip yesterday.
Not hers.
Not mine, another set of kids.
Of course you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll hear about that in a little bit. Let's get to the open. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. Every day. We do it our own way. Sing it out every day. Yeah, let's make it a good day. Every day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
Now, here's Jason.
Everybody. Hello. Oh. If the FCC is watching, keep an eye on Fallon. You'll see why in a little bit. Welcome to the show, everybody. Happy Friday. You guys in a good mood? Y'all in a good mood? Yeah. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, first up, you've probably all had something annoying happen while you're on an airplane, while flying, right? Everybody? Yeah. Had something? Yeah. Mine is always not enough sun chips. But you have to see what happened to one woman on a flight recently. Look at this video. She was flying from Spain to Germany, seated in the window seat. But look, that's not her arm. See that arm in front of her? That's the person next to her reaching across her personal space to repeatedly take a picture out of the window. Yeah. Now, she admitted she's a nice person. She thought it was cute the first time, but he kept doing it every 20 minutes. Yeah. And listen to this. Listen to this. They would often tap her on the shoulder to ask her to reopen the window shade so that they could take more pictures. No. If you want pictures out of the window, sit next to the window. Don't be coming into people's private... If you want a photographer, he's free. Okay, fine. $100. $100. Right. Hear the music, Leo. Let's get started, everybody. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Fallon, everybody. How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
What situation do we talk about first? Do we talk about your nudity that could be coming up at any moment? Yeah. Or do we talk about you yelling at children? Which one should we handle first?
Let's get the nudity out of the way.
Okay, why don't you tell the folks... why don't go ahead and tell the folks what happened in our pre-show meeting?
My button fell off of my shirt. But that's actually the least of my worries. The slit on this dress or skirt, I did not prepare for this. So you may see a bunch of this throughout the show as to not, get the show canceled.
We're sitting there, audience. You can see this happen on our Facebook show, the Before the Show. We're sitting having a meeting, and executive producer Jeff is talking to Fallon, and this is no joke. Jeff's like, da-da-da-da, da-da-da, and all of a sudden, Fallon's button goes like this. Bing! Just pops right off. I'm like, what's up with the girls? I'm like, yeah.
It's not that tight.
No, it wasn't at all.
I mean, I don't know. And then Jeff was like, I have a sewing kit. I can pop it back on for you. I was like, that's great.
I know. Jeff's so handy.
He is.
Okay. Next, as I said in the cold open, I missed you. Schwabi
you.
did a great job, but I missed you. But I hear I got a call from an anonymous parent. That you yelled at children on this field trip.
I did.
Atta girl.
We went to, one of those like kind of standard like orchards, pumpkin patch. They have animals, and they're, we were at the section where they have a bunch of animals. You can take one apple, feed the animal. Of course, kids aren't obeying that rule. That's not why I yelled at them. But there were 3 little boys standing on a hay bale, just launching the apples at the animals. Yeah.
No.
And I'm like waiting for a parent to say something, and they're not. And I'm like, so I just keep watching them to see, like, am I really getting this right? And I hear the one kid go, hey, try to hit that pig. And I go, hey. And they all turned around, and I go, we aren't hitting animals. Got it? And they all just stood frozen, jumped off the hay bale, and ran. And I was waiting for a parent to yell at me because it's 2024, and they would defend their kids instead of their agreeing that they shouldn't have their kids. But anyway, they did. There were no parents around to yell at me, so I don't know.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And even if they did, I would publicly shame those parents on the television show. Yes.
I told Jeff, if at any point in their life, I hope that if they consider doing something like that again, my voice triggers in their brain, hey!
Yes.
It scares them. I want them to have it for life.
I know, but I know we got to go do the hot dish. But back in the day, it takes a village. My Aunt Char, there was a bully in my street named Travis. Now, we got to be friends. My Aunt Char, who... Ooh, he didn't mess with Aunt Char. Aunt Char walked me down to the bus stop one day, and she walked down to the bus stop, and Travis would always call me horrible names, and Aunt Char was walking me down. We get to the bus stop, and here comes Travis, and Aunt Char knew of Travis's history. She looked at Travis, she goes, we're not going to have any of that nonsense, are we, today? And Travis goes, no. Never messed with me again. Let's get started, everybody. Cue the hot dish. Let's do this, everybody. Well, it is the show we've been talking about all week, and I know a lot of you are now binge watching it as well, because I hear from you. I love it. The Netflix rom-com Nobody Wants This continues to dominate the streaming charts. Here's the kiss. Here's the kiss. As we mentioned earlier, people are falling in love again with Adam Brody. Well, he stopped by Jimmy Kimmel Live Thursday night to talk about his renewed heartthrob status.
People are very sexually fired up about you. Fleabag gave us the hot priest, and now you are the hot rabbi, which is...
I love that. I don't want some of the other facets of his personality to to not be discovered. He's also a hot son, True. He's a hot brother, and so he's always so many other hot things.
He's a hot human being.
Yeah.
He's all of those things, Adam, yeah. Well, the question a lot of us want to know, I know Fallon and I are wondering, and they're better, will there be a second season of the show? Well, I mean, first of all, there better be. Jimmy asked, watch.
And have they started talking about a next, do they automatically go, okay, yeah, this is a big hit, we're going to start working on another season, or do they wait and try to play it cool a little bit?
I think they play it cool, but, like hushed tones, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see, okay. Does that mean, is that a we'll see like I can't say we'll see, or that's an actual we'll see?
I don't officially know anything, truly, but in my heart of hearts, I feel I know something.
Have you considered calling?
Well, he should know something. There should absolutely be a season 2. It would be ridiculous. It's the #1 show on Netflix. There has to be.
And this isn't a spoiler. It ends in a way that there could easily be another season. But what they're saying is the reason people like this so much is because it depicts a healthy relationship with people that aren't in their 20s. They're in their 30s. So they're more mature
40s.
adults. Oh, they said everything I saw said 30s.
Oh, well, that's right. I'm sorry. Adam is in his 40s. Yeah,
Right.
The characters are in their 30s.
Yeah, they're in their 30s, and like it's just showing like a healthy way to handle things, and you're used to very, I guess maybe like more like younger, immature, more toxic kind of relationships.
CW-esque
Yeah,
crap.
for sure, for sure.
Did you cry at the end?
No.
You didn't?
Oh, no.
Oh, I had tears. I won't say a variety of tears, but I had like, yeah.
God, now I feel dead inside.
I mean, you do yell at children. I mean, yeah. Next, what could be the first breakout hit of the TV season, episode 2 of ABC's Dr. Odyssey, aired Thursday night. Listen to this. The dumpster fire attracted nearly 14 million. Whatever, row 2, I see you. Attracted nearly 14 million people across all platforms. 14 million is a huge number for a broadcast series. Hell, it's a big number for any series. ABC says it's the best premiere for a drama in 4 years. Never mind that I thought it was the worst show on ABC in about 4 decades. I know. No. Row 2, I see you. I know it's your birthday, but yeah. No, have you watched it yet?
No, your reviews were that it was the worst thing ever. But Aaron said it was great, so now...
Aaron was on... Anyway, yeah, when she was watching it.
My question will be, how many of the 14 million come back for the second episode?
Thank you, Fallon. That's what I said.
That will help me determine, maybe.
Yeah, episode 1, anybody can get that. Let's see if people come back to episode 2.
Okay.
Then, did you watch episode 2, row 2? Yeah. You did not. Anyway.
They said yeah.
She watched it last night? Okay. What? Okay. They did open heart surgery. They did that on ER. Yeah. We'll be right back. Back in a moment. Welcome back. I had a good, healthy debate with Lori in our audience today during that commercial break about Dr. Odyssey. I pleaded my case. I'm going to let her plead her case in the next commercial break of why it's not trash.
Well, I'm on Lori's side after hearing the debate. I'm going to give it a go.
Okay. Welcome back. Coldplay. Coldplay does toasters. Hear me out. If you missed it this week, the British pop band stopped by home shopping network QVC to sell, no, this is not a joke, to sell and promote their new album, Moon Music. People bought the album, who bought it could also get other merch, like a Coldplay toaster right there. Ooh. Like that. The guys even made up a song for a woman who called in. Yep. Listen to this. Oh, wow. Is Lori booing Coldplay? I mean, Moon Music is available starting today. Look, laugh at this if you will. I am not the biggest Coldplay fan, but you know what, my position, get it, girl.
Yeah.
Get it.
It's funny. Also, I can say, like, as a person in radio, it's known around, like, the radio industry, we love Coldplay. Chris Martin is a great interview. He's always down to do stuff like that, write a song on the spot, because he's actually talented and can do that, even though that was not the best example, maybe. And he's just fun. He'll do, like, crazy bits. I don't know, like, a lot of artists take themselves too seriously. And people love them. And they're just great entertainers, too.
Because what's happening right now, shows like this, they're going to talk about this all day long. I mean, it's probably going to be on a late night monologue. It's brilliant. It's brilliant marketing.
Absolutely.
Plus, that's where the audience is. They're watching QVC, buying toasters. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Some people may think it's strange for a band like Coldplay to be on QVC. Frontman Chris Martin stopped by The Tonight Show Thursday night to kind of explain. Watch.
We're just trying to think of things that we haven't done before, things that we love. So we
QVC is on the list.
Yeah, and it was so fun, and it just felt like something we would really easily fail at, so we decided to try it.
you were like selling toasters and stuff.
Yeah, well, we're selling our album, you see.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. But I bought a toaster.
Yeah, everybody knows that, you know, it's hard to appear like salesmen when really we're musicians. So we said, well, if we're going to sell our album, we may as well make some toasters and sell them too.
Coldplay is performing on Saturday Night Live this weekend. Well, more Dish now, and I'm getting some help. Welcome back. Give it up for Michael Babcock from TMZ, everybody. Hi, Michael.
Hey, Jason. I need that toaster.
I know.
I need that. I need one.
I think it's great. Hey, it's some not fun stories, but stories we have to cover nonetheless. A case many people are following, a major update for the Mendez brothers, thanks to new evidence. What's the latest, my friend?
I don't think anyone, or at least I didn't see this coming yesterday. You know, Jason, there's been a renewed interest in the case. There's a new show on Netflix. So a lot of people have been talking about the Mendez brothers more than they had been in here in the recent past. The LA District Attorney, George Gascon, who is a controversial guy. A lot of people say, hey, you're not tough enough on crime. He has announced yesterday, he made this announcement in the afternoon, that he is going to be looking at new evidence in the murder conviction of the Mendez brothers. Of course, this goes back to 1989, where they killed their parents. 1995, they are finally in a second trial. They are found guilty on first-degree murder and sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. Now, there was an initial trial that was thrown out. It was a mistrial because the jury was deadlocked. They had always claimed that their father had been sexually abusive towards them, and they had killed their parents in self-defense, but that was not allowed to be heard in the second trial. So the evidence that they're going to be looking at here now is some of those sexual assault allegations, and whether or not the Mendez brothers, because of this evidence, should be either resentenced or given a new trial. If they're resentenced, it's very possible they could be you could have a DA who says, look, they've been in there for 30+ years. This should have been manslaughter, not first-degree murder, and Eric and Lyle, you are free to go. So it is very possible at the end of November that they could literally be out. These are two guys who had no prospects for ever being released because, again, the sentence was life without the possibility of parole.
One more serious story. This popped late in the day. You guys are all over it. Serious allegations against Garth Brooks, and now he's responding. What's going on?
So, yes, a woman, anonymously, has filed a lawsuit in Los Angeles that claiming that Garth Brooks, some years ago, raped her. And the allegation goes that she worked for Trisha Yearwood, Garth's wife, and she would do makeup and hair. But one evening she says she was working for Garth and they were at a hotel, and she claims that he sexually assaulted her. Now, he says this could not be further from the truth, and that this is somebody who has been trying to shake him down for millions of dollars with a completely made up, wholly out of cloth claim here that he says this is something that didn't happen. And as a matter of fact, Jason, he actually filed a lawsuit last month before this woman filed a lawsuit against him. He claiming that she was, again, trying to shake him down. The way he described it was that he feels like he's got a loaded gun pointed at him and that she's been trying, again, to get all of this money out of him. And he says, I'm not going to fall victim to that. So now this thing will presumably play out in the courts, but he claims he did nothing wrong.
Finally, we'll lighten the mood a little bit. Exciting news for Eminem.
A grandpa? Yeah, can you believe that? Eminem, grandpa. So his daughter, Haley, who he talked about so much in his music, is pregnant. She is expecting a baby. She was recently married. The way they did it was cool, Jason, because they announced it in a music video. So she hands him, his daughter hands him a custom Detroit Lions jersey that says Grandpa on it, and then they show the ultrasound. I thought it was a pretty interesting way and a cute way to announce that you're having a baby.
I love it. What good way to end that one. I love it.
Yeah, right. I know. So those are two tough ones to start with. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Have a good weekend, my friend. Thank you.
You too.
The great Michael Babcock from TMZ.
That means you could be a grandpa too. Oh. You know? Eminem is. It's hard to imagine. You could be a grandpa too. You would be a lovely grandpa. You should be, well, you're Olive's uncle though, so not.
The audience is suddenly very quiet today, I guess, yeah. Michael, anyway, next to the dish. Young Love Grows Up. Season 3 of Heartstopper is streaming now on Netflix, and I got a chance to watch a couple of the first episodes of the new season. This one, season 3, follows the young love between Charlie and Nick, but there's also focus on Charlie's mental health. I've been telling you about this show. I'll just say, just to set the table again, I'm not really the demo for this. This is a YA show, but I got to tell you, if I had something like this in Indiana growing up, feeling different, and having this type of, because what's great about Heartstopper, no matter the season, is it's a very sweet story. It's not salacious. It's not overly sexualized. It's just a very, very, very sweet and story about these two, well, actually a group of teenagers. God, I wish I would have had something like this. But this one does, as I said a few seconds ago, deal with more weighty issues. One of the kids might be dealing with an eating disorder, and then something universal, no matter if you're gay, straight, nothing. It doesn't matter. That horrible moment when you're worried about telling someone that you love them and whether they're going to say it back to you.
Yep.
We've all had that in one time or another. When do you say it? How do you say it? Are they going to say it back? Are you going to feel like a fool if you say it and they don't say it? This season kind of covers that too.
Okay, I like that.
It's a good. I haven't liked it as much as the other two, but overall it's pretty good. You can watch all 3 right now on Netflix. Sticking with TV. Yeah. Season 3 of the Sex and the City spinoff, and Just Like That, is coming soon to Max. Now the famous husband of star SJP, the Sarah Jessica Parker, is explaining why he has never been on the show. Never been on Sex and the City, never been on the spinoff. Well, as you know, SJP is married to Matthew. He talked to James Corden on James's Sirius XM show and talked about almost appearing on the hit show. Listen.
Is it true that there was a moment, or there were multiple times, that you were asked to play a part in Sex and the City and you opted not to? Is that true?
It's a little bit true. You know, I don't even know that I remember that well. Whenever there was a part that I could do, I couldn't do it, is really all that happened.
Right.
So I wish that I had done it or been in it. You know, that was her thing, and that would be stunty me or something. I don't know. It just never worked out. I love that show, and I would have been delighted to be in it, but it just never lined up right.
Matthew didn't say if he's been asked to be on and Just Like That. By the way, those two have been married for almost 30 years. 27 years they've been married. Wow. Yeah. Now I won't say because it's a racy title, but Matthew did say, was it rumored of who he might play? One of the boyfriends of the ladies, the premature blank. If you've watched Sex and the City, again, you know which one.
Yeah.
He was allegedly going to play that person.
Okay.
And he's like, I don't want to be that guy.
Understandable. Yeah, that's fair.
If you know what I'm talking about, you know why you don't want to be that person. Yeah.
Yeah, understandable.
But just because they're married doesn't mean that he should be on there. And a lot of times married couples do not have good chemistry when they do creative efforts. Look at Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, in Eyes Wide Shut. That creep fest.
I saw that movie with my mom, and like, I think
I saw it with Deb?
Yeah, I think I was in like high school, and I don't think either of us knew what we were getting into. And I remember we stared straight ahead, never looked at each other, and we walked out and we didn't talk about it.
Nor should you.
It was bizarre, yeah.
I saw Bruno with Sacha Baron Cohen. I saw Bruno with my radio partner Alexis Thompson. Alexis brought her parents. It was a press screening of that movie, and Alexis' mom is goofy, but her dad's a little more like he's a military man. He's very and he's sitting there, and there's a scene in that movie where Sacha Baron Cohen's private part is pointing at the camera, and it starts to talk. And I look over at her dad. I mean, he's basically doing the sign of the cross. I mean, he was like, yeah, it's very embarrassing. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. Coming up in just a little bit. It's the conversation that no one wants to have, but we are going to have it. And I'm certainly going to learn some things. We're talking the realities of early menopause. That and more when The Jason Show continues. Welcome back, everybody. We're so glad you're here. Welcome back. Let me just say, this is one of those exit ramps where we stop being goofy for a little while and we do something that we think is important. It's something that affects every woman as they get older, but is rarely talked about. That's why we wanted to talk about. Menopause still remains a taboo subject for a variety of reasons, but it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to, no. Joining Fallon and I today is someone ready to talk about it. Give it up for Dr. Casey Wilder, everybody. Cassie. Hey, Cassie. Doctor, can we start off with what Fallon and I just learned? Doctor thought, this proves what a pro you are. Doctor thought that she was booked for Fallon's radio show. She didn't know she was going to be on television. So, yeah.
Look how good I would never show up like that, looking that good for radio.
You look real. You are TV ready.
In the day of social content and YouTube,
That's true.
I just assumed.
Here
we are.
Love it that is. Oh, I love it. Let me start off, and Fallon is going to understandably anchor most of the conversation. Why isn't, I'm going to go off of what I just said, why isn't this more talked about?
I think it's not talked about because prior to social media being a big thing, women just didn't share this experience about their life with other women. They didn't talk about it at the dinner table. They didn't talk to their kids about it. They just kind of ignored it or went through it silently. And I think our younger generations are just, we're here for it. We're going to be talking about it, and we're going to change how it's perceived.
Are you seeing a change? Are you, even if it's glacial, are you seeing, and I think a lot of subjects are like that, and talk shows help with that. I mean,
Absolutely.
we didn't talk about stuff that were taboo in the 70s. Talk shows came along, and suddenly we're talking about infidelity and abuse. Are you seeing movement about this topic even glacially?
Absolutely. And I think the more patients become informed about their options, they are bringing it up to their providers and pushing them to be better. So the more we can inform patients, the more that they can bring it back and make the rest of us better.
One of the things, like as I'm, getting older, I was telling Jason and Jeff earlier, I don't think I heard the phrase perimenopause until the past year of my life. I've heard menopause, but I never heard perimenopause ever. I don't know why that is. So my question is, what is perimenopause and how early can it start? I hear rumors it can go on for like 7 or 8 years. Is that true? Because that's a long time.
It could go on longer.
It can go on longer, great.
So perimenopause is the change, is the transition through. So you have normal cycling, then you're going through perimenopause as your hormones shift and change, and then once you hit menopause is when that's going to be the lasting, what's going to be for the rest of your life, where the hormones are much lower than what they were previously.
So how early can that start?
That change, we see hormone values changing as early as 35. I would say a lot of the symptoms and a lot of the perimenopausal shifts that women will experience themselves might not pop up until 45.
Okay. And what
regretting that grandpa comment now, aren't you?
Oh, listen, women age much quicker than men do in the world. Okay, people want to know what are some of the signs, because I feel like everyone talks about hot flashes, and that's like the only thing you hear about really. So what are some of the early symptoms that you're like, oh, something seems different?
Hot flashes show up in a large majority of women, but actually not all. You can see things like mood changes, like increased anxiety, increased rates of depression, irritability, being really snippy, having a low tolerance for BS, I guess, if I'm allowed to say that. Sleeplessness, so increases in insomnia. There are so many, hair loss, there's so many different things, weight gain that can be attributed to perimenopause that they're just not the typical night sweats, hot flashes that maybe you'll read about on Google.
Doctor, does it drive you crazy that we were talking about hot flashes and there's an eye roll inducing thing. Does it drive you nuts that that is basically the headline / punchline of what you deal with?
That's a hard one to answer. Not as much, because I think patients need to be able to recognize it within themselves, but I think that there's so much more to it.
Okay, I don't have the exact statistic in front of me, but I was like reading an article the other day, and it said something along the lines of 40% of women going through like the hormone change are diagnosed by their doctor as having depression or anxiety. Then they're placed on medication for depression or anxiety, when in fact it's a hormone shift and they shouldn't be on that medication. They should be addressing menopause.
Absolutely. Literally took the words out of my mouth. Yeah.
That's insane to me. So people are being placed on medication they do not need at all when it's a totally different issue.
I think one of the hard parts about that is that hormones will shift on blood work, but they're not being routinely checked. And so in our office, we are routinely checking hormones in a younger generation, where you might show up to your doctor and say that you're having depression, and they may not think of it as hormonal. They really look at it as just a neurotransmitter-based disorder, and they're not thinking about the other factors. You know, outside of hormones, there are several things that can cause increased rates of depression, but if they even do that lab work, it might not even show up that you're in perimenopause yet. It might still take 4, 5, 6 years before your blood levels start changing to even notice that you're in perimenopause and for them to make an accurate diagnosis for you.
We have more with Dr. Cassie, including questions that you have for her when we come back, right after this. Even though you thought it was radio.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Yeah, let's make it a good day.
We're back with Dr. Cassie. I love when we do these. We stop down, we stop being goofy for a little while. Let me ask you, as the resident dude here, what can husbands do? What can friends do? What can family members do? But mainly significant others to be supportive. What are they doing wrong, perhaps, and what can they do to be better with it?
I think one that you hit on is just to be supportive. One big thing I'll hear from patients as they're going through this that they'll tell me is that they feel like a completely different person inside their body. The person that they felt and the person that they feel now, it's kind of like something else is inhabiting their physical form.
Really?
So I think for partners is just being understanding that not only is, you know, your partner changing both physiologically and how those neurotransmitters and how those hormones are changing in her body, she's getting used to that new body too. And so just being that ultimate support system is really the best thing that you can do.
Because there is a reason why I coupled that with my last question of I asked about the punchline for a very specific reason, because I think I'm not saying everybody, but I think some guys, because we don't know, they think, you're just, it is a punchline, and they don't take it seriously because they don't understand it. They don't mean to judge, but they don't have the information, so they think, you're just exaggerating.
Yeah.
But it can be that. It's eye-opening for me. You know, I didn't know this.
I know a lot of people want to know, okay, how can we actually address the symptoms? Is there an affordable way to do that? And I actually was like Googling, because so many people wrote the letters HRT, and I was like, what is HRT? And I was Googling that before this because I didn't know about it. So maybe you can get into that a little bit too.
Yeah, I think before we get into that, just one quick thing is that ultimately it's the woman's choice on how she chooses to treat herself during this time frame. There is a range of things you can do, from absolutely nothing to more dietary approaches to supplemental herbal approaches to HRT. They've all got their pros, they've all got their cons, and really sitting down with someone who knows what the heck they're talking about is going to be the best way to make that decision, informed decision for yourself. But getting to your answer, HRT is hormone replacement therapy. So during perimenopause, your hormones are starting to gentle slope down, and actually I like to describe it as kind of like a toddler at a dimmer switch, that one day they'll be really high, one day they'll be really low, and then you might be low for a couple of weeks and then go really high. And so HRT can really help balance that out, where you get this even even keel of hormone distribution every single day, and it can help even out your moods, out your sleep, and so it can just make you kind of feel a little bit better. There's obviously pros and cons to HRT, and there's so many different methods to do it. And when you say affordability, there are affordable ways that your insurance may or may not cover, or may cover. And if it doesn't, there are cash-based ways that are affordable to get hormone replacement therapy.
Okay. Also, people asked, how long can you stay on that?
Forever.
Because, okay, you can forever.
Yes.
Okay, okay, that's
as long as you want, you can stay on it.
Okay. We've talked about some of the side effects, like the weight gain, the hair loss. People said joint pain.
Yes.
One of my friends said, I'm not kidding, also really bad gas. And I said I didn't know about the bad gas, but yeah, she was like, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
And she DM'd me that. But I think the top one, obviously the hair loss and the weight gain, I'm gonna guess, is really, really what bothers women. So why can't you lose weight?
Yeah, well,
if you want to.
As estrogen is coming down and ultimately gets to a deficient state, estrogen has such an integral role in your brain and on your hypothalamus and creating that metabolic set point for you. So at an estrogen deficiency state, your brain doesn't have that same way of saying, all right, you've got some energy to burn, go ahead and burn it. It can also change peptides in your gut that actually will stimulate hunger and stimulate your body's ability to say, like, I'm actually hungry, or no, I'm thirsty, or you mentioned gas too. It can actually change the makeup of your microbiome, that we actually know parts of your microbiome are responsible for helping your cells stay sensitive to insulin, which regulates your blood sugar. And so obviously weight is a complicated thing to kind of mess with, but thinking about metabolism, thinking about muscle mass, estrogen deficiency will actually make it more difficult for you to maintain your muscle mass and get more muscle mass. And so it's just, you're at a disadvantage, and that's what makes it really difficult to lose weight.
We're gonna talk to our studio audience. They have some questions when we come back. Back in a moment. Welcome back. Going into the audience, continuing our conversation about menopause. We're in the audience to get some questions for Dr. Cassie. What's your name?
Leanne.
Hi, Leanne. What's your question?
My question is there a certain age that young women should start checking into their levels?
As young as you want. As soon as it starts becoming a problem where you're feeling different in your body, I absolutely think that it is the time to be running your hormone levels.
And it can be any age.
Any age.
Wow. I mean, just hearing when you said 35 earlier, to me, again, as and I'm not making an ignorant guy about these things, that's shocking to me that it was 30. The perception, the societal perception is it's a 50s or 60s thing.
Yep. Also, you're not an ignorant guy, Jason. I don't know this about my own body. I'm an actual woman, you know? So, like, I would say there's a level of ignorance in all of us because it just isn't talked about.
Oh, I know. Again, I'm not making. I saw your face, and I'm like, if Fallon is surprised, I'm okay being surprised. Hi, sweetie. What's your name?
Lori.
Lori, what's your question?
So I'm wondering about the HRT for people maybe in their 60s or 70s. Have you seen them start that to help with those symptoms?
The general recommendation is 10 years. So if you had 12 years without a period, and that would start your first diagnosis of menopause, we usually give you 10 years. And then if you haven't started HRT in that 10-year window, the risk-benefit ratio might not be in your favor, but I would always have a conversation with your doc.
Another question. What's your name?
Does it raise your chances of breast cancer?
Yes, yes.
Because they told us they're like, none for you.
That actually got debunked. The previous studies that they were doing were using conjugated equine estrogens, which did in fact raise rates of breast cancer, and the forms that they're using now do not carry those same risks. So when you're looking at options, I generally recommend bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which has actually a lot of breast protective benefits.
Yeah, Doctor and Fallon, Fallon, back me up. I think you got a couple of these questions, and if we cover this again, my apologies, but talk about libido. Didn't you get a couple questions from the listeners?
I mean, it was from a mixture of men and women. Men were like, how can I be supportive of my partner when the libido's down? And some women were just like, yeah, I don't know how to like fix that.
I mean, menopause is more than just about estrogen deficiency. Your ovaries also create a portion of your testosterone as well. And testosterone, we know, is really integral to libido and kind of having that pilot light lit. So whenever there's an opportunity to fan that pilot light and make it a true fire, it's there. And so thinking about testosterone is also part of your HRT mix, especially in females. It's not just for men, is going to be a really huge piece.
Okay.
Can I ask too, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, and maybe you won't have a lot of answers right off the top of your head. We just had Stephanie Hansen on, our foodie, talking about things maybe you shouldn't say, phrases, things that aren't real supportive for folks dealing with breast cancer. And I had another woman who was a widow. Is there anything, again, I want to end how I began, that a spouse or a partner, they should stay away from? Are there trigger questions? Are there phrases that they shouldn't say if they want to be supportive?
Well, I would punch you if you said it's all in your head, so maybe stay away from that
one. Anything else, doctor?
I have heard a lot from patient anecdotally from their stories that their doctors will say, oh, you're just a tired mom of 3. Of course you're tired. Ooh. This can't be perimenopause. And that's extremely unprofessional and inappropriate, and I would encourage you to find another doctor, but that would also be something that I would very much steer clear of. If anyone's telling you that your symptoms aren't real, that if it's not, if you're experiencing them, they are very much real.
If people want to get a hold of you, and of course we'll put this on the Jason Show YouTube and socials, how can people get a hold of you, doctor?
We are local to the Twin Cities. Our clinic is in Wayzata. Our name is Minneapolis Integrative Medicine Center, and we opened up 7 years ago. Our birthday is actually 2 days ago, so it's been a fun journey.
Congratulations. I was going to end on that. There's the website at the bottom of your screen. And if you're watching us from around the country, find a clinic near you, hop on the Google and get to a professional. Get to the Google. That's right. Give it up for the doctor, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. It's an important conversation. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Back in a moment, everybody. Welcome back. Don't forget to be in our audience next week. Eventbrite.com. Search The Jason Show. Paige Davis from Trading Spaces will be filling in for part of the week. Fallon will be gone. You're on a nudist cruise or something, aren't you?
Yes.
That's right.
Thank you.
Right, yeah. People again, right? She's on it again, Jeff. Yeah. Anyway, a sincere moment. We're just goofy friends that we just pick on each other all the time. Fallon was the catalyst for today's episode. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you. We rarely do. Well, not rarely. We do stuff like this from time to time. I think that was great. I think we're gonna. Proof will be in the pudding and the DMs. I think it was one of those moments where I knew people watching are going to learn something. So.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, she was amazing. So really
and looking at your face, seriously, when she said 35, you look like Roger Rabbit. You were like, yeah. Time to meet our last JVIP of the week. It's Maureen from St. Paul. She loves the show, saying we are all real and genuine. She's also met me. Oh God, I'm scared. I hope I was nice. She's met me many times at Target Field during the Twins game. Oh yeah, I'm always in a good mood there. She gets a mug and is entered to win the monthly grand prize that includes being a VIP guest on our audience, a $150 gift card to Becker Furniture, and a $250 gift certificate to Renew Med Spa. Wrapping up the show when we come back.
Hi, Marnie.
What?
Marnie.
Marnie? That's a Marine. Did I say... As I said, next week Fallon will be here on Monday, and then she's off for adventure. Our buddy Paige Davis from TLC's Trading Spaces will be here in studio filling in. Yeah, she's my buddy. You'll hear the story of, and I'll just say, I've never had a friendship instantly erupt from the show. I mean, you and I have been friends just because of, but a friendship erupted immediately. She came out to be a guest, and we fell in love. And we're, of course, going to talk about Trading Spaces. She's going to give us some inside dish. Her husband, by the way, is Tony Award-winning actor Patrick Page from Haiti, from The Gilded Age and on Broadway, Hadestown. He is in town right now with the Guthrie here locally doing a one-man show. So if you're local, get tickets to that as well. Patrick. That music was a little loud in the studio.
Nice knowing you.
That was, well, I'm now 52. Go out there and be yourself because nobody can tell you you're doing it wrong. Oh, I think I just peed. I think I did, yeah. We'll be right back. Oh, no, he won't. Bye.